Circuit breaker. What's inside? Single pole protects from overloads and short circuit. Testing. Proper clicking sound. Preparing wiring for testing. Stripping wires ready to connect. Disassembling outlet, connecting to breaker. Checking connections, installing terminal block. Assembly ready, time to test. First test, light bulb. Switching on. On and off, works fine. Measuring current with multimeter. Overload test, connecting 1400 hair dryer. Breaker tripped after 9-10 seconds. Letting it cool down, trying again. Click, circuit opened. Bimetal plate, triggers on overheating. Electromagnetic trip, reacts to short circuits. Now we test with the usual fuse. I will install the fuse in a convenient clamp. Here he is. Attention, I turn on the hairdryer. And the fuse burns out instantly. Taking breaker apart, unscrewing housing. Fully disassembling the housing. Mechanism inside, all parts visible. Cutting a window to see the action. Reassembling breaker with clear section. Testing again with hairdryer, see plate bending. This is how the breaker protects your wiring.